I used to wear your promises like constellations on my skin.
Every word a sacred lighthouse, pulling me through storms within.
I built a home inside your silence, called it faith when you pulled away.
Held the weight of disappearing, just to make you wanna stay.
Now the echoes fill the hallway like ghosts dancing in the rain. And every photograph is burning, but I won't become the flame.
You broke me down to the foundation, left me shaking in the dark. Thought the ruins would define me, thought you buried every spark. But after every sleepless midnight, after every tear I gave,
I found a heart beneath the wreckage, still refusing to be saved.
I am rising from the wreckage, from the ashes of your goodbye. Every scar became a river, teaching broken wings to fly.
I was drowning in the silence, now I'm louder than the storm. You can take away the memory, but you'll never take my soul.
I survived the fall, I outlived it all. There was a winter in my bloodstream. Every breath a battlefield, I kept carrying your shadow, long after the wound had healed.
Oh, people said that time would fix it, but time just taught me how to stand.
How to walk through shattered pieces without bleeding from my head.
I screamed into empty heavens, asked why love could hurt this much.
Why the hands that felt like shelter could become a losing touch.
Then I looked into the mirror, saw a stranger looking back. Not defeated, not abandoned, just a warrior dressed in black.
I am rising from the wreckage, from the ashes of your goodbye. Every scar became a river, teaching broken wings to fly.
I was drowning in the silence, now I'm louder than the storm. You can take away the memory, but you'll never take my soul.
And if the mountains start collapsing, if the sky forgets the light, if the weight of every heartbreak comes to find me in the night,
I'll remember who I became when the world was caving in.
not the person that you shattered, but the one who rose again.
The pain became my armor, the tears became my rain. The darkness was a teacher that taught me strength through pain.
I don't need your resurrection, I don't need another chance.
The version of me you left behind has learned a stronger dance.
I am rising from the wreckage, hear the thunder in my veins. Every wound became a weapon, every loss became a flame.
I was drowning in the silence, now I'm louder than the storm. You can take away the memory, but you'll never take my soul. After the fire learns my name, nothing burns the same. I survived the fall,
And now I stand the fall.
it all. The love is gone, the lessons stay. The night was long, but I found my way.
And every piece you left behind built the strength I carry now. I lost the one I thought I needed, and found myself somehow.
I remember every shadow that was painted by your light. We were building endless futures in the middle of the night.
Every promise felt like thunder, every kiss could stop the rain. Now the echoes of your laughter only magnify the pain.
I kept searching through the silence for the pieces of our past,
Holding on to fading embers, praying they were built to last. But love slipped through my fingers like a river through the stone. And the hardest part of losing you was learning I'm alone.
When the ocean left the shore, I thought I'd never breathe again.
When the sky came crashing down, I was buried underneath the end.
But every tear became a diamond, every wound became a spark. Now I'm turning all the darkness into stars against the dark. You broke my heart, but not my soul. You left a scar,
But not a hole.
and now I'm stronger than before.
Since the ocean left the
There were mornings I felt hollow, like a house without a door. Every memory a wildfire, burning through me to the core. I wore heartbreak like a prison, carried sorrow like a chain. Built a kingdom out of sadness, learned to dance inside the pain. Some nights I begged the heavens to rewind what we became, to erase the final goodbye, to forget your name. But healing isn't forgetting, it's surviving what remains. It's standing in the ruins and still refusing to be changed. When the ocean left the shore, I thought I'd never breathe again. When the sky came crashing down, I was buried underneath the end. But every tear became a diamond, every wound became a spark. Now I'm turning all the darkness into stars against the dark. You broke my heart, but not my soul. You left a scar, but not a hole. And now I'm stronger than before. Since the ocean left the shore, I found strength inside the fracture, found courage in the fall, found a voice beneath the silence that was waiting through it all. The person that you walked away from couldn't see beyond the rain, but the one that's standing here now made a crown from every pain. So let the thunder shake the mountains, let the shadows fill the sky. I have walked through devastation and I didn't let it decide who I am, who I'll be. Your goodbye didn't bury me. When the ocean left the shore, I learned the tides can change their course, and even hearts that break apart ocean left the shore. The night you left, the city trembled. Streetlights blur like falling stars. Every dream we swore forever collapsed between our broken hearts.
I kept your voice inside my bloodstream like a prayer I couldn't lose. Even when the silence told me there was nothing left to choose.
I spent months beneath the wreckage, breathing dust and memories, trying to find the person you convinced me I could never be.
The mirror showed a ghost of sorrow, eyes exhausted from the fight. But somewhere underneath the damage, a fire survived the night. I was shattered, I was sinking, I was barely holding on.
But every ending has a heartbeat, every darkness has a dawn.
I built a throne from the ruins, made a kingdom from the pain. Turned the flood into an ocean, turned the tears into the rain.
Every scar became a story, every wound became a flame. Now the fire that almost killed me only knows my name.
You can keep the broken promises, keep the echoes of goodbye. I am stronger than the version of myself that used to cry.
I built a throne from the ruins, and I wear the crown tonight. There were days I hated mornings, hated waking up alone. Every corner held a memory, every room became a stone.
I watched the seasons change around me while my heart stayed frozen still.
Like a soldier lost in battle, with no strength and no will.
The pain is a relentless teacher, it carves wisdom into bones.
And the storms we think will break us
Often build what stands alone.
So I learned to carry heartache without letting it define.
The same hands that held the pieces slowly rebuilt this life of mine. I was shattered, I was drowning, I was buried by the weight.
But surviving taught me something I was never made to break.
I built a throne from the ruins, made a kingdom from the pain.
Turn the ashes into constellations, burning brighter through the rain. Every scar became a story, every wound became a flame. Now the fire that almost killed me only whispers my name.
You can keep the broken promises, keep the echoes of goodbye. I am stronger than the version of myself that used to cry.
I built a throne from the ruins, and I wear the crown tonight.
Hear the thunder in my chest. I survived what hurt me best.
The love is gone,
The grief remains.
but I found gold inside the pain. And if you saw me now, you wouldn't know the soul who begged the stars to bring you back, who couldn't let you go, because the person that you left behind is disappeared with time. A stronger heart emerged from darkness and finally learned to shine. So let the mountains shake beneath me, let the heavens split apart. I've walked through devastation and rebuilt my shattered heart.
I built a throne from the ruins, made a kingdom from the pain. Turned the deepest kind of heartbreak into power in my veins.
Every scar became a story, every wound became a flame. Now the fire that almost
tears I cry.
And from the ruins I learned to rise. I found your shadow in the doorway where the sunlight used to fall, like a ghost still standing proudly in a house that lost it all.
The walls remember every whisper, every promise, every scar. Now the silence feels much louder than your voice ever was.
I try to outrun all the memories, cross 1,000 sleepless nights, but heartbreak has a way of finding every place you try to hide.
So I carried all the pieces of a love that couldn't stay, like a soldier dragging armor through a war already lost.
And I broke, oh I broke, like a wave against a stone. But the deepest wounds can teach you how to stand on your own. You were the storm that tore me open, the fire that burned my sky, the reason I forgot my strength, the reason that I learned to fight.
Every tear became a river, every river found the sea.
And the pain that tried to drown me built a stronger version of me. Now I wear these scars like medals, not reminders of defeat, but proof that even shattered hearts can rise back to their feet.
There were mornings without color, there were nights without a sound. I would stare into the darkness, wondering if I'd ever be found.
Every photograph a lightning strike, every song a loaded gun, every memory a battlefield when no one ever won.
I blame the stars, I blame myself, I blame the world we knew. But healing came the day I stopped looking for the fault in you.
You were the storm that tore me open, the fire that burned my sky, the reason I forgot my strength, the reason that I learned to fight.
Every tear became a river, every river found the sea.
And the pain that tried to drown me built a stronger version of me. Now I wear these scars like medals, not reminders of defeat, but proof that even shattered hearts can rise back to their feet. I stood at the edge of surrender, with nothing left inside, just a soul full of wreckage and a mountain left to climb.
But somewhere in the brokenness, a quiet voice appeared. It said the end of something beautiful is not the end of you, my dear.
So I turned my grief to thunder, turned my weakness into gold, turned the chapters full of sorrow into stories still untold. And now the same heart that was bleeding beats louder than before, because surviving isn't living, it's becoming something more. You were the storm that tore me open, the fire that burned my sky, but you could never take the light I carry deep inside.
Every tear became a river, every river found the sea.
And the pain that tried to drown that I am more
than what it takes to break a heart. Because the heart you left behind learned how to beat alone and build a world from all the ashes of the weight of leaving.
I still remember the night you vanished. The moon was hanging low and pale. Your goodbye felt like a landslide and buried every future we had made.
I walked through weeks of empty highways with your name stitched into my skin. Every mile another reminder of the war I couldn't win.
The mirror showed a fragile stranger, a soul collapsing from the weight. I kept searching through the rubble for a reason I could stay.
And the darkness kept on calling like an ocean without end. But somewhere underneath the wreckage, my heart refused to bend.
I was falling,
I was fading.
I was hanging by a thread, but the fire inside my chest wasn't finished yet. Now I'm dancing in the ruins where the lightning used to strike. Every wound became a compass leading me back to life. You left a hurricane inside me, tore apart what I believed. But the storm that tried to break me built the strength I couldn't see. Now I'm standing in the aftermath with the sky beneath my feet and the bones of a hurricane beating in me like a dream. There were nights I cursed the heavens for the way your love disappeared, like a flame to warm the darkness, then abandoned me to fear. I carried every shattered promise like stones around my neck, trying to save a sinking memory from a ship already wrecked.
I watched the seasons change around me while my heart stayed trapped in place. Every sunrise felt like punishment, every smile felt fake.
But pain is not a prison forever, and grief is not a home. Sometimes losing what you worship teaches you to stand alone.
Now I'm dancing in the ruins where the lightning used to strike. Every wound became a compass
Leading me back to life. You left a hurricane inside me, tore apart what I believed. But the storm that tried to break me built the strength I couldn't see. Now I'm standing in the aftermath with the sky beneath my feet and the bones of a hurricane beating in me like a dream. I hear the echoes of your memory, but they don't own me anymore. The chains I wore around my spirit lie broken on the floor.
The tears became an ocean, the ocean became a tide, and the tide carried me somewhere the old me could never find.
I found courage in the chaos, found power in the pain, found a voice among the thunder calling out my name. So let the night is through, and from the storm I made it through. Because the hearts you left in pieces didn't disappear in vain. It rebuilt itself from thunder and learned to love the rain. I watch your silhouette dissolving into the cold September haze, like a prayer abandoned halfway, or a sun that lost its flame.
We were written in the margins of a story too afraid to stay. Two hearts chasing forever, while forever slipped away.
I remember how you held me like the world could not divide. Now your absence fills the spaces where my faith used to reside.
And for a while I stopped believing that I'd ever heal again. I built walls around the damage, locked the sorrow deep within.
Every night became a battlefield, every breath a heavy stone. I was learning how to survive in a world without your soul. I was breaking, I was sinking, I was losing who I knew. But the darkest roads reveal the strongest truth.
I built cathedrals out of smoke from the ashes of our fall. Raised my voice above the wreckage when I thought I'd lost it all. Every shattered dream became a spark against the night. Every scar became a window, letting in a different light. You took the love but left the lesson. You took the warmth but not the fire. And now I'm standing even higher than I ever stood with you. There were mornings made of silence, no colors hanging in the sky, only shadows drinking daylight and questions asking why.
I wore a heartbreak like a uniform, marched through months of endless rain, dragging chains of old memories across a landscape made of pain.
Oh, people told me time was healing, but time alone could never save. It was choosing not to surrender. I wanted to run. Now I'm standing even higher than I ever stood with you.
There were mornings made of silence, no colors hanging in the sky, only shadows drinking daylight and questions asking why. I wore heartbreak like a uniform, marched through months of endless rain, dragging chains of old memories across the landscape made of pain.
People told me time was healing, but time alone could never save it. We're choosing not to surrender when I wanted to break. It was finding strength in weakness, finding hope inside the grief, finding pieces of tomorrow hidden underneath defeat. I built cathedrals out of smoke from the ashes of our fall. Raised my voice above the wreckage when I thought I'd lost it all. Every shattered dream became a spark against the night. Every scar became a window, letting in a different light. You took the love but left the lesson. You took the warmth but not the fire. And now
The flames remain, but they no longer burn. They light the path for my return, because the heart you thought was finished found a reason to believe, and build cathedrals from the smoke of everything you couldn't leave.
Cold rain falling on the pavement, like the tears I couldn't hide. You were everything I prayed for, and became my longest night.
We were fire in a cathedral, we were thunder in the dark. Two believers chasing heaven with a match and a fragile heart.
Then the silence grew between us, like a canyon carved by time, and the words we never answered turned into ghosts inside my mind.
I kept reaching for your shadow, even after you were gone, holding on to broken pieces of a world already done.
I was unraveling, losing gravity, falling deep Not the person that you left behind, crying in the dust, but someone stronger, someone fearless, someone forged by loss and trust.
I built an empire beneath my scars, and its towers touch the sky. Every wound became a window, every failure taught me why the strongest hearts are broken before they truly understand how to turn their deepest sorrow into something that can stand. You shattered the dream, but not the dreamer. You silenced the song, but not the singer. And now my voice echoes through the night. Oh, I am still alive. Watch me redefine the pain, the fall, the tears, the climb. Because the love you took away did not take all of me. It only revealed the kingdom I was always meant to be. The streetlights flicker like dying stars on the night you walked away. Your shadow disappeared into the dark while mine forgot its place. We were a wildfire in slow motion, a beautiful collapse of faith. Two hearts building golden futures on foundations made to break.
I still hear your name in empty rooms, like an echo trapped in stone. Every memory pulls like gravity toward a world I've never known. For a while I stopped believing that the pain would ever fade. I wore my sorrow like a second skin and watched my colors drain.
I was sinking through the silence like an anchor in the sea, losing pieces of myself, trying to keep what's gone with me.
But every night that nearly broke me left another lesson burned into the soul I had forgotten and the strength I had to learn. You were the gravity of goodbye, the force that pulled me to my knees, the reason every dream came crashing down like leaves in a dying breeze.
But every wound became a doorway, every tear became a flame, and the heart that shattered in your hands will never be the same. Not weaker, not smaller, not buried underneath the pain, stronger than the storm that carried your name.
I remember staring at the ceiling, counting cracks instead of sleep, holding conversations with your ghost that only made me bleed.
I chased the past through endless winters, through storms inside my head, trying to revive a love that had already left for dead.
The truth arrived without permission, like thunder splitting through the sky. Sometimes the hardest thing to face is accepting a goodbye.
And healing isn't finding answers or pretending you don't care. It's carrying all the broken pieces and rebuilding something there.
You were the gravity of goodbye, the force that pulled me to my knees, the reason every dream came crashing down like leaves in a dying breeze.
But every wound became a doorway, every tear became a flame, and the heart that shattered in your hands will never be the same. Not weaker, not smaller, not buried underneath the pain, stronger than the storm that carried your name.
I found courage in the wreckage, were the gravity of goodbye, but I learned how to break free. Now every scar across my heart is part of who I'll be. Every wound became a doorway, every tear became a flame, and the pain that wants to find me became the fuel that changed me. Now I'm standing where the darkness thought I'd never find the light. I survived the fall, I outgrew it all. Love is gone, the grief remains, but it no longer wears my chains, because the heart you left in pieces found its rhythm in the fight, and turned the gravity of goodbye into the strength to touch the sky. The night collapsed without a warning, like a kingdom losing its crown.
You stood there with goodbye in your eyes while my whole world came crashing down.
The walls we painted with forever turned to dust beneath the rain, and every promise we once carried was swallowed by the weight of pain.
I ran through streets of broken echoes, searching for what couldn't stay, holding fragments of a future already drifting away.
And for months I lived inside the silence where your memory built its throne. Every breath felt like surrender, every heartbeat felt alone. I was a ghost inside my own reflection, a fading light behind the glass, watching all the things I cherished disappear into the past. But even shattered stars keep burning, even after skies grow dark, and somewhere underneath the wreckage there remained a stubborn spark.
Ashes don't remember falling, they only learn to rise again. What was broken by the heartbreak was rebuilt by stronger hands.
Every scar became a compass, every tear became a tide, leading me beyond the ruins where the fearless parts survive.
You left me standing in the darkness, said I would disappear, but I became the storm that conquered fear.
I still hear the songs we listened to, floating through forgotten nights, like old photographs in motion, trying to return to life.
Sometimes grief arrives uninvited, like thunder rolling through the soul, opening every hidden wound that never truly closed.
I carried guilt like heavy armor, questions hanging from my bones, wondering if I could have saved us, if I loved you differently somehow. But time revealed a harder lesson, some endings cannot be undone, and not every heart you're given is meant to be the final one.
Ashes don't remember falling, they only learn to rise again.
What was broken by the heartbreak breaks was rebuilt by stronger hands. Every scar became
Not because it never shattered, but because it learned what healing's for.
Ashes don't remember falling, they remember how to fly, how to climb beyond the smoke and touch the open sky. Every wound became a chapter, every chapter made me strong. Every goodbye built a bridge to where I now belong. You can keep the ghost of yesterday, you can keep the fading flame. I'll keep the strength I found inside the pain. Oh, hear the mountains shake. Oh, see the dawn awake. The love is gone, the tears remain, but they no longer feel the same, because the fire that once consumed me could not destroy my soul. It only forged the person who finally came whole.
I watched the horizon break in two. The night you vanished from my life. Your goodbye was quiet as snowfall, but it cut deeper than a knife. We had dreams stretched across the future like golden bridges in the sky. Never thought the hands that built them would be the first to say goodbye.
I carried your ghost to crowded cities, through lonely rooms and sleepless dawns. Every memory a burning ember, refusing to be gone. There were mornings I couldn't face the mirror, afraid of who I'd become. A heart abandoned in the ruins, a war that couldn't be won.
I was drowning in invisible oceans, falling through an endless night, searching every corner of the darkness for a reason left to fight. Then a voice beneath the silence rose from somewhere deep inside. It said,
The strongest trees are not the ones that never face the storm.
they're the ones that learn to survive. Where the lightning couldn't reach, I found a fire of my own. In the deepest parts of heartbreak, I discovered I was strong. Every tear became a river, every river shaped the land. And the pain that tried to destroy me built the person that I am. You took away the future I thought I couldn't live without, but you never touched the courage
That was growing through
the doubt.
There were nights the grief was endless, like a mountain on my chest. Every breath a quiet battle, every dream denied its rest.
I replayed our final moments 1,000 times inside my head, trying to rewrite the ending, trying to wake what was already dead.
But healing came without permission, like sunrise through a broken roof. Not erasing all the damage, just revealing a deeper truth.
Sometimes love becomes a lesson, sometimes loss becomes a guide. Sometimes what feels like an ending is the place where strength survives. Where the lightning couldn't reach, I found a fire of my own. In the deepest parts of heartbreak, I discovered I was strong. Every tear became a river, every river shaped the land. And the pain that tried to destroy me built the person that I am. You took away the future I thought I couldn't live without, but you never touched the courage that was growing through the doubt.
Now I stand where fear once ruled me, with the scars still on my skin. Not ashamed of every fracture or the places I have been, because every crack
'cause the heart you left in darkness found a light you couldn't see.